Hello, everybody. My name is Sarah, and today I will be presenting the cognitive processes involved in a child learning to grasp an object. So, this is an overview of the model. So, a child learning how to grasp an object is an important developmental milestone for children, and grasping an object integrates many cognitive and motor processes in developmental learning. So, the overall purpose of this model is to provide an efficient framework that explains the cognitive processes involved in a child learning to grasp an object. So, these processes include sensory memory, sensory input, working memory, long-term memory, motor planning, and execution, and feedback loops. So a theoretical framework, this is the research I used for my model. So Q 2018 suggests that selective attention and working memory share common neural substrates within the frontal parietal network, and this is activated to filter out distractions during the child's grasping process. SLIG-T 2010 explains that working memory holds the information about the objects temporarily, and this information is stored to long-term memory with the help of the hippocampus. Cervant et al. 2018 suggests that repeated attempts at grasping an object demonstrates a shift from working memory to long-term memory. So this allows the task to become automatic and optimizes skill retention, which helps integrate sensory input and feedback more effectively. Perrone et al. 2008 explained that the development of infant motor abilities through actions such as grasping and manipulation plays an important role in shaping their understanding of objects. So this is seen in the interaction between the sensory input, motor planning, and feedback loops. So here's my model. As you can see, it starts with the visual and tactile inputs to identify the object's overall characteristics, such as shape, size, distance, etc. It then goes to the sensory memory, where it will temporarily hold the information, filtering out irrelevant stimuli. So this is done by selective attention, as this will filter out and remove all the irrelevant stimuli, such as distractions or background noises. It will then go to working memory, so this will store and organize the information about the object's location to prepare for motor planning. Motor planning prepares the reaching and grasping motion by coordinating muscles. Motor execution will then execute the movement based on the plan. And over time, automaticity will begin as repeated attempts will allow the child to correct and improve their motor coordination through the feedback loops. Performance feedback will update to long-term memory, integrating new knowledge or retrieving previous experiences to help execute the motor commands. Therefore, all of these cognitive processes will then result in the child successfully grasping an object. To illustrate this, I have an example. So a child grasping for a toy. So a child sees a bright yellow toy like the one in the image, and the child feels its smooth surface. This would be the sensory input, as the visual and tactile inputs allow the child to perceive the object's size, shape, and distance. The child ignores nearby toys to focus specifically on the yellow toy. This would be the sensory memory, as it temporarily holds this information, filtering out any irrelevant stimuli around them. The child then tracks the toy's position while reaching for it. So this is the working memory, and it will store and organize the details of the object's location and properties to help with motor planning. So the child will then calculate how far they should extend their arm, how tightly they should grip the toy, and this would be the motor planning as it prepares the reaching and grasping motion by coordinating the appropriate muscles. The child's hand successfully wraps around the toy, and this is the motor execution as it executes the movement based on the plan. And lastly, if the toy was to slip or fall, the child would then try again with a firmer grip. So this would be the feedback loop, as the real-time corrections and performance feedback will help the child adjust their grip and improve accuracy over time. So the pros and cons of my model are that the pros is my model is comprehensive as it integrates multiple cognitive processes and motor processes. It includes feedback loops, which demonstrates how feedback improves performance over time, and the diagram is easy to follow. The cons are that my model oversimplifies the overall cognitive processes, as I didn't go into much detail and it's very brief. It also fails to consider individual differences. And while I do mention the use of automaticity, I did, however, not include it throughout my model, which I think would have made it a bit more clear. So to conclude, this model illustrated how cognitive and motor processes are involved in a child learning to grasp an object, and it highlighted the importance of feedback loops and memory integration in improving a child's motor coordination. So future directions could include investigating how the model applies across different developmental stages and by including individual differences throughout the model. or by exploring cultural and environmental factors that may influence these processes as well. These are my references, and thank you very much for listening.